Well, hello everyone and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Shay and I'm from Cave Creek, Arizona. I'm a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids, but I love to be in the kitchen. I don't have as much time as I would like. So this recipe kind of came about because I have a large family and I often like to be very active in the preparations and the recipes and what we do, but I'm tired of the same old mashed potatoes at every Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter party. So my idea for this kind of came from having baked potatoes one night and we ran out of sour cream. Not a big deal for the rest of the people in my family, but to me it was a big deal. And I had some cream cheese around, so I decided to incorporate that into my baked potato and was amazed how good it was. So then thinking about my new recipe for the next family gathering, I thought, well, why not have something like a twice baked potato with the cream cheese, add a few other elements, but also save some time. So I hope you enjoy. First step, we want to roast a garlic. Sounds very complicated, but it's very simple. Always can be done ahead of time. You can use this for many other dishes. You want to chop off about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of the top of the garlic clove, leaving them exposed, and peel away some of this skin around the outside. You want to place it in a baking dish with some foil, or really easy if you're doing a bunch of them, put them each in a muffin tin, drizzle with the oil, cover with foil, and you're all set to go. You want to drizzle a couple tablespoons of olive oil over the garlic cloves. You want to saturate it pretty good. And then cover it up and pop it into your preheated oven at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. Now step 2 is very easy. It's just your basic potatoes. The smaller you chop them, the easier and the faster they'll cook. I like to use gold potatoes for this and leave the skins on because that's where most of the nutrients are. You put them in your big stock pot, cover them with water, put it on a high heat, and let it cook for 15 to 20 minutes until they're nice to poke with a fork. They're almost completely soft. You don't want them too mushy because you want some nice texture with this dish. I'll see you back here in a few minutes as we continue on to our sausage. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for our garlic to roast and our potatoes to boil, I have preheated a pan at medium-high heat of 4 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I've added in the 1 small onion, which should be about 1 cup of finely diced yellow onion. I like the combination of the butter and the oil. It adds a second dimension to the dish, but also keeps that butter from burning. So after you've sauteed up these onions for about 3 to 5 minutes to get them nice and soft, you add in your pound of sausage. And you're going to break it up to cook it just like you would a ground beef. And then you add in all of your seasonings. You've got about a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of garlic powder, and 4 tablespoons of fresh sage. You can use the dried. I prefer the fresh. It's such a lovely aroma. That's about 4 tablespoons of freshly diced sage, and then you just combine that all and continue cooking it until it is fully cooked. And once that's all completed, you're ready to move on to your spinach. I'll see you back here in a few. It's smelling fantastic in here. Our potatoes are almost ready. It's been in there about 15 minutes. Still needs a little bit more time. Our sausage is draining. And now we're ready for our 2 tablespoons of butter and our tablespoon of olive oil that I've just reheated back in the same pan. Why waste the time washing another pan, and why waste all those fantastic flavors? So once that becomes melted and all nice and heated, you're going to add your 6 cups of rough chopped fresh spinach. You can use the frozen. Once again, I prefer the fresh. It's just so easy and so much more healthy. And granted, this looks like a ton of spinach, but remember, spinach, once it's sauteed, it reduces by at least half, if not more. To let it just start reducing down. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper just to taste. And covering it often helps, lets all those juices become married up in there. tongs work great for tossing this, and then you just want to continue tossing it so that all of the juices get incorporated, so that the spinach can all start seeing the heat and get nice and wilted down. Once it's just about completely wilted, you want to take it off of the heat and set it aside with the rest of your ingredients so that when your potatoes are ready and your garlic is ready, you're set to go. Our roasted garlic is all ready, our potatoes are nice and drained, our spinach has been done, our sausage mixture is ready to go, so here we go. The easiest way to release these cloves of garlic from a roasted garlic is by taking a small knife and cutting around each bulb. And then either with a small fork, or if you want to take it with your fingers and squeeze it out if you've done this ahead of time and it's had a chance to cool, but a fork works great. You just release every single one of these and they're nice and soft, so when you're ready to mix it, it becomes well incorporated instead of getting big chunks of garlic. So we have 5, you're only going to use about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic depending on how much you like that big garlic taste. Put that in here with your bowl. We have our sausage, our potatoes, our roasted garlic, our ½ cup of buttermilk, about another teaspoon of salt, another teaspoon of garlic powder, another teaspoon of black pepper. Always go back and taste it. That's why you're in the kitchen, right? So you can taste. Your 1 stick of butter. And then we're going to mix that with our electric mixer on a medium-high speed. You want this still to have the chunky consistency. Instead of having that creamy potato, you want a nice chunky consistency, and make sure everything is well incorporated. Well, now that our hand mixer has done its job, now it's time for you to do your job. Easiest with a hand mixer because all we want is for the cream cheese to be well incorporated as well as not totally demolishing the nice tender spinach. So we have 16 ounces of the Philadelphia whipped cream cheese. I like the whipped best because it's nice and fluffy and airy. It incorporates well. It still leaves those nice pockets of cream cheese without being just one big glob. It just kind of smooths in with all of the rest of the ingredients. And then we've got our spinach. And you just want to get it well incorporated. You don't want your potatoes to get much more mashed than this, but you want everything to be well combined. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. I don't know if I can let it go to the ramekins now. I might just have to eat this whole bowl. And that's just about good. Nice little tap. Let's use a larger spoon for this part. So then you're going to scoop your ingredients. It's going to seem a little wet. That buttermilk just gives it that nice creamy texture plus that wonderful cream cheese. And the reason you want it a little bit on the wet side is when you rebake it, you're losing a little bit of that moisture. So it's also great if you wanted to take this and directly put it into a crock pot for a big family gathering. That way you're not slaving over the stove while you can be spending that precious time with your family. You can be sitting back and having a game or playing a game or doing something fun like that instead of in the kitchen mashing up potatoes. But it'll still stay nice and smooth and creamy because you have this added moisture in the dish already. Top it with your cheddar cheese. And because you're dealing with smaller dishes, it's easier if you put them on a baking sheet or in a baking dish, anything like that. So all you're having to do is grab 1 container when dealing with your dish. Now this recipe does make 12. I haven't seemed to figure out how to cook for 2 people. We have a very large family, so you can always cut it in half. Do it however you would like. Pop that in a 400-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes so that cheese is nice and bubbly. And we'll see you back here when we plate our dish. This is really good. Got to keep you away from that. Oh, and our potatoes are done. Oh, isn't that just gorgeous? We got that nice golden color. The cheese is all melted, and it's all ready to go. All you have to do figure out how to grab it. Top it with a few scallions for some color. Leave it as it is. Go to town on it, just be careful, don't burn your mouth. And there you have my sage sausage and spinach twice baked potatoes. Enjoy.